Kind of good to be back in this normal setup, because I've been doing videos all over the house, but now I'm finally back in this area, and I've got some plans soon that I'm going to try to test out. Anyway, hey guys, Joe the Collector with a brand new video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the sequel to John Wick. Released in theaters as John Wick Chapter 2. The film basically centers around John Wick not giving his mark to a very close friend of his who ends up destroying his house and fleeing to Rome. When that happens, John Wick follows along as he figures out that this man also placed a $7 million bounty on John Wick, causing everybody universally to know who John Wick is and to hunt after him. So, when you listen to that plot, it sounds very far-fetched when, considering this movie into play, but really only the ending of the film is really that far-fetched, because you're really just thinking throughout the film, this bounty is only placed in this certain area, but as it goes worldwide, more shit starts to happen, as you can tell what's going to happen in the third movie. The film, it is definitely kind of different from the first film. While this movie was more revolutionary than the second film, the second film has this odd action movie sequel vibe. Yes, it is an action movie sequel, but it should be able to stand on its own, offer a good movie without having to run on the strings of the first movie. Now, I did very much enjoy this film. A lot of the stunts, the choreography, the acting, the cinematography, the score, the overall fun factor to this movie, all there, all very prominent and displayed. But John Wick Chapter 2 has this odd feeling that it's becoming more of a franchise than it should have been. John Wick is a movie that we'd want to see a sequel for, but not this far-fetched of a sequel. It's a great movie, I must add, but there's just some problems I've had. Now, let's get on to the positives of the film. The cinematography is very well done, especially for an action movie. A small few select scenes were shot with shaky cam, such as the beginning, and even then, that ended very quickly. Other than that, so you've got very professional camera views instead of shaking it around so you can't see the terrible action. You've got actual good choreography, because Keanu Reeves has been in this business for God knows how long. But with Keanu Reeves as the main star, it almost feels like he's trying to replicate what he did in this movie, which is fine, because he did a great job in this movie, but it's more tossing people on the ground and 3 shots. That's most of his fighting choreography in this film. A lot of his past films have had more than just that. I feel Keanu Reeves is more devoting himself to the John Wick franchise than if he's going to do any more of those straight-to-DVD movies. Anyway, right back onto the topic of this video. For a movie such as John Wick Chapter 2, we've got to look towards the positives, including character development, which I feel John Wick has come to his best point so far. Besides the death of his dog in this movie, we've seen him at his all-time low. Everything in his life is done for. Yeah, he's still got the money and all that, but he's at his all-time low pretty much in this movie, and you get to see him like that and just wonder, what would the boogeyman be without his power? Like this. And kind of funny to see someone who was feared so much be, really kind of easy to pick down. Kind of odd, but, whatever. John Wick Chapter 2, I'm very glad, is actually humanizing who we would call the boogeyman, John Wick. We're humanizing a character that we haven't seen humanized before, only in such dramatic scenes as seeing his wife die and all that. I want to talk about John Leguizamo in this movie. For the small amount of scenes that he was in, he really kept me captivated as the film went on. The small scenes that he was in, the small scenes, just really tied the film together. John Leguizamo, woo, man, what an actor. he's really got I don't know how, but his small cameo somehow gave so much charisma to his character. Being featured prominently in the first film, and having such a small role in this film, he somehow still is able to deliver some really great lines of dialogue. That's how good I believe the John Wick franchise could get, to where a small cameo could be really good. Now on to the villain. Not that well developed of a villain, I have to say. He goes on where he says he's got this very large history with John Wick, but when he doesn't get the mark, he's got to go to Rome and all that, and then he wants John Wick to kill his sister, and it's kind of a simple plot, but I'm glad John Wick's going this way, because at least they're not doing the thing where the villain is the one who wants to do this. The villain in this movie at least has a deeper initiative to his entire plan. He doesn't want John Wick to kill him, or to kill, he doesn't want John Wick to kill him, or he doesn't want to kill John Wick. He wants John Wick to kill his sister so that he could climb up on the crime scale and essentially, be at the top, man. Come on, I don't want to be at the top. I was once a stockbroker, and they told me, nah, going to Brooklyn would be a bad idea. Come back, got a great accent, look at me now. I'm wasting my life on movies. That's the American dream, everyone. But overall, I would have to say, with John Wick Chapter 2, we've got a movie that is, in ways, different than the first film, but in other ways, much better than the first film. We've got good stuff, and we've got bad stuff. Definitely not as good as the first one. It's got scenes and parts that are better than the first one, but otherwise, this film is a great movie to stand on its own. But with the multitude of sequels and a TV show for John Wick, I think we should at least be happy that we're getting a good franchise instead of a bad one. Oh my goodness, I haven't talked about the score. I love in this movie how the score is barely ever used as like the actual movie's score. They have to have some sort of scene where the music is playing in the background. The music has to actually be in the movie. And that's what I love, how John Wick has that. How in the movie, if there's going to be music, it better be heard. So in the movie, the music is actually being played. Instead of it just being part of the movie's soundtrack, it's actually in the movie. So when he's at a rave, that music is just from the rave. So I enjoyed that very much as well. And I love the multitude of locations in this film, especially from the fact that John Wick is a movie stationed in New York, and you get to go to a lot of places. New York, Rome, other places like that. I love how they're trying to explore the universe of John Wick, which I really like. Anyway, I enjoyed John Wick Chapter 2, but maybe not as much as others. I'm hoping John Wick Chapter 3 does a better job at being a sequel, or being more of a standalone film, but only time will tell, and I'm excited for that TV show. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like if you enjoyed the video that much, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment if you want to call me an asshole. You can check out my Twitter and Instagram if you really feel like it. Instagram's better, obviously. And, yeah, this is Jared the Collector telling you, always trust your instincts, because sometimes movies can cheat you.